Hi, and welcome. From all of us here at the Elisi team, thanks for joining. Today, we're going to talk about a powerful, proven solution to one of the world's biggest challenges, the global water crisis. It's a solution that really puts power back into the hands of the people who need it most. And we're going to break down exactly how it works. So let's start with a number, a really big one. 2.1 billion people. That's how many people, right now, still don't have access to safely managed drinking water. I mean, think about that for a second. That's more than 1 in every 4 people on the planet. It's just a staggering reality to be facing in this day and age. And that leads to this critical question. Billions of dollars are poured into water projects every year. Wells get drilled, pipes get laid. So why do so many of them just break down, leaving communities right back where they started, sometimes just a few years later? What's going wrong? Well, the data tells a really powerful story. Just look at this. When systems are managed by outside groups, their functionality rate often drops below 50% pretty quickly. But when communities manage their own systems, that number skyrockets to over 90%. The answer isn't just about better pipes or pumps, it's about ownership. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at why so many projects fail, what we call the broken promise. Then we'll dive into the incredible power of community ownership. We'll break down the key pillars that make these systems last, look at how this model can scale up, and finally, talk about the role you can play in all this. So first up, let's talk about that broken promise. We really need to understand why the usual top-down approach so often fails the very people it's meant to help, especially out in rural areas. You see, the core issue is that projects installed without deep community involvement are kind of like a tree with no roots. There's no plan for how to pay for repairs down the line. There's no one trained locally to fix a broken part. And maybe most importantly, there's just no sense of real ownership. If no one feels like it's theirs, it's almost guaranteed to fail. Okay, so here's the crucial point. We have to flip the model completely. We need a fundamental shift in mindset. Away from seeing communities as just passive recipients of aid to seeing them as what they are, active managers of their own future. And this approach has a name, community water management. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a system where the local population is involved from day one in designing, operating, and maintaining their own water systems. They're in the driver's seat, not just along for the ride. And this right here, this is the simple, profound idea at the heart of it all. It's just human nature, right? When something is yours, you take care of it. That sense of ownership creates a natural accountability, and that is the absolute key to making something last. And the results? Well, they're just incredible. Look at this number. A major study that looked at systems in Peru, Bolivia, and Ghana found that in community-managed systems, a stunning 95% of household taps were still working. The proof is right there. This model simply works. So let's dig into how this actually works on the ground. This success isn't some kind of magic. It's a really well-designed system that rests on a set of interconnected pillars. These pillars make sure it can last, not just for a few years, but for generations. Through our work and research, we've identified 5 core pillars that are absolutely essential. Think of them like the legs of a stool. You need all 5 for it to be stable and strong. When all 5 are in place, you've got a water system that is truly built to last. Okay, pillar number 1. It all starts with governance. Communities create their own water committees, with people they elect making decisions for everyone. And it is so important that these are gender inclusive. We see it time and time again. When women are in leadership, the systems are more sustainable and the water is shared more equitably. Next up, the technology has to fit the place. This isn't about getting the newest, shiniest, most complicated machine. It's about choosing technology like solar pumps or simple biosand filters that local mechanics can actually fix, using parts they can actually find nearby. No more waiting weeks for some expert from the city to fix a simple breakdown. Pillar 3. For a system to last forever, it has to pay for itself. This means the community agrees on affordable water tariffs. But this money doesn't go to some faraway company. It goes into a community fund, managed transparently, that covers day-to-day operations and builds up savings for future repairs. Now, this next part is one of my favorites, because it's where the old meets the new. The most resilient systems blend generations of traditional knowledge, like understanding local water sources and weather patterns, with modern tools, like real-time sensors and mobile reporting.
That combination is just incredibly powerful.
So, a successful system in one village is a huge victory. But at LC, our goal is universal access. And that means we need a clear strategy to take this model from a single village and scale it up to an entire nation and beyond.
So, how do you scale? Well, you do it by building networks. Individual communities can team up to form federations so they can share costs or hire a technician together. This also needs support of governments, ones that recognize community water rights and see their role as an enabler, not a dictator. The goal is huge, but it's achievable. Reach 200 million more people with this approach by 2030.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important part. Where do you fit in? Because the power of this model is that it creates real, clear pathways for everyone, including you, to help write the final chapter of the water crisis.
There are so many ways to be part of this solution. If you're a professional, you can volunteer your skills in engineering or finance. You can be an advocate who pushes for policy reform in your own country. Or you can provide financial support to organizations that have a proven track record of making these systems last. Every bit helps.
So we want to leave you with this final thought. The models for ending the global water crisis, they already exist. They're tested, they're effective, and they are powered by communities. The path forward is crystal clear. The only question left is, are we as a global community ready to follow it? Thanks so much for listening.